Alright, so we're going to have a look at lighting now. So we've got a setup here, various composite of various items. We've got a rotating 3D model, we've got some video in the background, we've got a green screen element and some animated text. So we're just going to look at the different types of light first of all. So the first one is the environment light. So I've turned the environment light on, and that basically lights the whole scene. We've got ambient light, which gives you more of a kind of, as it says, a kind of ambient, softer light. Again, with all these lights, you can go into settings and control, obviously, the intensity and the colour of them. So again, if I was to reduce the intensity of the ambient light, you'd see it would. You can see the effect there. We've got spotlight. We've got a static spotlight here. I'm actually going to turn the ambient light off because it can kind of drown out some of the other lights. So I've turned ambient light off. We've got a static spotlight. You can see that it's just a position below the mask there. We've got a point light, which I mentioned, which again is a light that kind of emanates from a point. So it's good for things like candlelight or a light bulb. Spotlight I mentioned, obviously that's a light that focuses in one direction. You can position that. So we've got the static spotlight. I've also got an animated spotlight, which I'll just play briefly. It's going to render okay. You can see that the animated spotlight, there's a yellow light that's just moving across the mask there. Excuse me, it's playing a little bit slowly, the video, but you get the idea. So that's animated on a loop, that's spotlight. To create any of these lights, if you right click in the layer panel, go to new and light. Alright, and then you can choose from the drop down the different types. You can control the colour as well. So any colour the light can be. Intensity, fall off as well. So again, if with the point light, if we just look at the point light, I've particularly reduced the fall off distance of the point light. If I increase it, it becomes less of a point light and kind of spreads out more broadly. So again, reduce that down. Likewise with the radius, if I increase the radius, again it starts to spread. The light, so I've animated one of the spotlights, like I said, I've animated the position of it. You can see the keyframes here, just 3 keyframes, and then I've added a loop out expression, so it just loops through that movement, so the spotlight kind of scans across the mask and back again. So we've also got the parallel light we can use to simulate the sun setting, or sun rising should I say, or sun setting in reverse. We can position the parallel light, so I've positioned it up in the sort of sky here, and then I can change the point of interest. So I'm leaving it in the same position, but its point of interest is pointing away from the scene. If I click on the timer here to put in an initial keyframe, I'll do that again, for point of interest, and then if I move the playhead along a bit, again insert a second keyframe for point of interest, and then if I move slowly the point of interest around, you can see, so it points at the scene, you can see how it starts to illuminate it. Again, what I can do as well is I can change the intensity if I want, and so I can also animate the intensity. So again, if I go back to the initial playhead, just put in a keyframe for intensity at the beginning, and then move to this second point, second keyframe for intensity, and just turn that up a bit. Oh sorry, need to go back, move the playhead to here. Second keyframe for intensity, and just move that, turn that up a bit, and then we get more of a kind of a brighter sun. Again, I can control the colour if I want. Okay, so that simulates a kind of sunrise effect.